Hello, I'm Jeremy, and welcome to another episode of RevUs Reviews, where mistreated movies get a second chance. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of my more controversial opinions as I attempt to defend the infamous Happy Madison classic, The Master of Disguise. The Master of Disguise is one of the most overhated films of all time. Sure, it's not a masterpiece, but why the hell does it have a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes? 1%. To Rotten Tomatoes, The Master of Disguise is worse than Baby Geniuses, Good Luck Chuck, and The Ugly Truth, and only slightly better than the Garbage Pail Kids movie, Jaws 4: The Revenge, and Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. Well, I won't stand for it anymore. I'm going to give The Master of Disguise the positive treatment it deserves. This is my review of The Master of Disguise.
He's the M-A-S-T-E-R of disguise. What you keep in front of your eyes? A master of disguise. M-A-S-T-E-R of disguise. What you keep in front of your eyes? A master of disguise.
Dana Carvey plays Pistachio Disguise, the son of Fabrizio Disguise, one of the great Disguise masters. You see, the Disguises are a family who have the ability to disguise themselves into any person or thing, real or fictional, using an invisible force called Energico. One day, Fabrizio is kidnapped by evil businessman Dillon Bowman, who wants to use Fabrizio's disguise power to steal various artifacts. After this happens, Pistachio's grandfather comes to Fabrizio's restaurant, tells Pistachio the truth about his family's legacy, and trains him to become a disguise master and save his papa and mama, the latter of whom was kidnapped in order to bribe Fabrizio into doing Devlin's bidding, joined by his beautiful assistant Jennifer Baker. The Master of Disguise is, in my opinion, what a Happy Madison movie should be. Sure, some of the flaws of Happy Madison movies do pop up, like pop culture references, celebrity cameos, immature jokes, and playing up perviness for laughs, but they're kept more to the side, unlike most Happy Madison projects. Also, this film is freaking hilarious. Like Biodome, I can understand people not finding The Master of Disguise funny, but in my opinion, the jokes are really clever and fun. Yeah, it's immature, but that's what makes it so funny. The Master of Disguise isn't some grandiose comedy like It's a Mad, 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 Mad World or Airplane, or even a snappy, witty comedy like Hudson Hawk or the Clue movie. It's just a simple, stupid little comedy with a creative premise, fun humor, and good characters. Speaking of which, let's get to the characters. First up, Pistachio Disguise. While I do like the character of Pistachio Disguise, I will admit that Dana Carvey's Italian accent is terrible. Seriously, Luigi from Cars sounds more Italian than Pistachio. However, I'm willing to overlook this flaw for two reasons. One, his Italian accent kind of grows on you the more you watch, and two, Dana Carvey is perfect in the role. Carvey is a master impersonator, and his role as a man who constantly disguises himself really plays into his strengths. Even if you hate this movie and find it annoying, you have to admit, Dana Carvey is really good in the role. Whenever he disguises his voice, you truly believe he's another person. Also, the character of Pistachio himself is really likable. Sure, he's a little annoying, but he's also kind, funny, interesting, and sympathetic. Pistachio's grandfather is also pretty cool. He's a very brusque, blunt, serious character, which contrasts perfectly off of Pistachio's awkwardness and naivete. He also has a lot of funny lines and is a really good mentor character. Jennifer Baker is okay. Jennifer Esposito does a good job in the role, and she's a very kind character. She also has very good romantic chemistry with Pistachio, and her unfamiliarity with the whole Master of Disguise thing makes for a lot of funny scenes. There's only one problem with Jennifer, and it's not even anything to do with her. It comes in the form of a giant man-shaped tumor named Trent. Trent is Jennifer's boyfriend, and you know how Charles from Drop Dead Fred was a scumbag, but was an enjoyably hateable, slimy scumbag with a lot of depth as well as having an interesting role in the plot? Yeah, Trent is none of those things. They clearly made Trent so they could have a forced love triangle and make us sympathize with an already sympathetic character. Trent is an aggressive, unfunny dude bro who has a soul made of stone and only acts nice when his girlfriend is around. And while, yeah, I can understand him being concerned with Pistachio moving in on his girl, but to say he takes this to an extreme is an understatement. He goes insane when Pistachio comforts Jen's son after he falls off his skateboard. And you know what Trent does in response to the son of his girlfriend falling off of a skateboard and potentially injuring himself? Stifle a laugh. Have I mentioned how much I hate this character? Alright, back to good things about this movie. And what better way to contrast the horribleness of the aggressive, unfunny, dude bro-shaped wart named Trent than to talk about the film's villain, Dillon Bowman. Dillon Bowman is one of my all-time favorite villains, right up there with Benedict from Last Action Hero, Buford T. Justice from the Smokey and the Bandit series, and Bradford McMillan from Chairman of the Board. Bowman is incredibly fun, silly, and cheesy. He also has a lot of charisma supported by his actor Brent Spiner. If that name sounds familiar, that's because Spiner is most famous for playing the role of Data in Star Trek. And similar to how Dana Carvey's talent at impressions makes him a natural playing Pistachio, Spiner's penchant for hammy acting makes him a natural at playing the cartoonishly hammy Dillon Bowman. It also helps that he looks like a live-action cartoon character. Also, I really like the characters Pistachio disguises himself as. While a lot of Pistachio's disguises are one-off jokes, all of them are funny. My personal favorites are Terry Suave, the Scarface guy, and May or May Not. Terry is a cool, suave James Bond type who has some funny lines and charisma on par with the characters from Hudson Hawk. The Scarface character is a weird, obnoxious character who's funny in his own unique way. And May or May Not is a character from one of the deleted scenes who's very eccentric and silly. But there's one other disguise that I should probably talk about. The most infamous disguise of the movie, one that is commonly used to mock the movie, the Turtle Man. Honestly, I think it's fine. While I can definitely understand the Turtle Man annoying audience members, I don't mind it. It's a very clever setup and it's pretty funny. In conclusion, while it's not a masterpiece by any means, The Master of Disguise does not deserve the hate it gets at all. It's a creative story with likable characters and fun humor, which shows off the impressionist skills of Mr. Dana Carvey. If you want to find a Happy Madison film to dump on, there's plenty to hate on, like Jack and Jill, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, Just Go With It, and Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star. The Master of Disguise has been beaten by critics from all sides, and I say enough. If you're into fun family films or just want to have a good time, ignore the haters and pick up The Master of Disguise. And for those of you wondering if any other Happy Madison films will be reviewed on the show, there will be, but they'll be some of the more obscure films in Happy Madison's catalog. That's all for now. Join me next time when I dive into the ridiculous and silly world of awful cinema with my list of the top 10 best so bad it's good movies. See you then.